Austin started playing the guitar and goofing around, playing these different rhythms he'd have in his head, and it was like, wow, that's actually a really cool rhythm you're coming up with. Is really unique to me. It sounded super unique, and so we just kind of got together in my dad's drum room, and I was like, hey, play that again, and I'd jam to it, and that's how it all started. We just kind of started for fun. He'd play something, and I thought it was cool, and really, I mean, he just started playing guitar, so it was super weird to me that he was coming up with these cool rhythms after he just picked up a guitar for the first time.
Well, before that, I played a little bass.
Yeah, you kind of got a lot of the segments of what how a band sort of functions and formulates.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet deal. And so, who is the drummer?
That's me.
Seth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the guitarist?
I'm the acoustic rhythm guitar, and we have a lead, really amazing guitar player, and we're really fortunate to have him in the group. He couldn't make it today, but he's here in spirit.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting because he used to be Austin's guitar teacher.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I remember hearing stories where he'd go to his guitar practice and all of a sudden his guitar teacher was like, dude, that's a pretty cool little rhythm, and then they'd start jamming and he'd be doing lead over the rhythms he'd be coming up with. So that's when I knew it was something kind of special, because not often does a really good guitar teacher tell the student after a short time, like, hey, play that riff, I want to jam to that,
Yeah, let's sit down together and
Yeah.
duo it out.
Yeah.
So now he's our lead guitarist, and like Austin said, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 20 plus years, being in bands, Santa Cruz Monterey area, and it's just really awesome to have him in the band, and he really clicks well with us and everything. And Seth and me always clicked off really well with our musical influences, same page and everything, and his drum rhythms and patterns he would do would always interlock with the rhythms I came up with on the acoustic guitar. So it was like this weird kind of like puzzle piece fitting together type feel. He'd play the drums and we'd kind of work out things, and they really just started as really rough sketches. And we liked the formats of them, but they never got their full structure until we kind of jumped into the studio. Mm-hmm. And we met the lead guitar player. I first saw him playing live, and I thought, wow, that guy's phenomenal, Devin Avey. And I said, I wish I could have a guitar player like that in our band. Mm-hmm. And I ended up taking lessons from him randomly. And we just really clicked, and he loved some of the songs that we had written, and he kind of was like, yeah, let's do this album. And it started off as an EP. Worked for a recording studio in Santa Cruz, Westside Santa Cruz, and that's where I met Andy Snyder. He was the sound engineer there, and they really hooked it up on the deal. They kind of almost for free basically recorded the EP. And Devin came in, wrote these parts, and they turned out really well. And we had our buddy who's not in the band anymore, Tim Cooper. He played the bass, and he laid it down in one night. Just kind of came up with the stuff. He was majored in bass, so he had a.
Yeah, he basically came in. He was leaving for the East Coast the next day, and when he came into the studio, you could see Andy, the guy recording us. Was like, so wait, how many times has he heard these songs? And I'm like, actually, he never played them yet.
He didn't play them once.
You could see Andy's face drop, and I'm like, no, trust me, he's good. He can do it, And sure enough, by the end of the recording session, Andy was like, who's this guy? Like, where did he come from? How does he come in here and just lay down? Anyone that's recorded knows how difficult it is to just play a song on a recording and pretty much nail it.
Never hear it.
Well, especially with changes from
never heard it.
Verses and the bridges,
right.
too. That's even tougher.
Well, plus he was writing the bass lines on the spot. Like, he would just feel it out. So
we sat in the outside the control room, and I played him some of the songs. He made up the stuff right there on the spot. And he's like, I think I'm going to do this here and this here. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How
is it that you're so great?
Yeah, it's just like...